So I'm up in the loft and I got my Cat 6 wire here, and I gotta put a RJ45 plug on the end of it. It's a little razor blade thing. Give it a little turn. And this is direct burial, so it's a little bit more heavy duty, it seems. So it's got some extra stuff in here too. So I'll cut this out of here. So it looks pretty good. So you got your 4 strands. I went online and got a wiring diagram. I will put a picture up on what I used. There's different ways of wiring these. You can do like a straight through or like a patch cable setup, or you could do a crossover. I don't think you really use the crossover wiring method anymore, at least not with my router. So I guess back in the old days, if you did something that was like like a similar device, like say a router to a router, you would do the crossover. But I think things are smart enough now that they just do the straight shots, and I think that works fine. I already did one of these in the basement. This wire seems a little bit tougher to do than what I remember, because I've done this before and I was able to like have it like this long and get them all lined up and squeeze them right through and snip it, but I had a tough time with this wire in the basement, so I made it extra long, and then I fed each one in individually. Bunch of wires. Don't get it all confused. The orange and the brown is easy to get confused. Alright, so I'm doing green with the stripe is on pin 1. And pin 1 on the back side, you get the little tab, holes on the bottom there. Pin 1 should be where my index finger is. Green with the stripe is first, so jam that in there. Now green, solid, now orange, striped. So when you stick these through, it's actually pretty easy. They stick through and through the front. And then solid blue, blue striped, solid orange, brown stripe, and then brown. We'll check it. We're gonna clean this up and feed them in. Keep wiggling this in there to get that seated all the way in there, because we're going to crimp that piece of little plastic right there. I'm going to trim off some of this extra here. And this tool is going to crimp it and trim it, but the one I did in the basement, it had a tough time trimming it. So I mean, this is just a budget, no name, doesn't even have a name on it. Came on an Amazon kit, but it's marked right here. Looks like 8 pin. Oh, and it also, I don't know if you can see this. See these little brass things that are sticking up? So that's gonna stab down into it, and that's what's gonna make the connection. So that's going in, and you just squeeze it, and you got a little knife over here that should trim it nice. And it looks like it trimmed a couple of them, but not all of them. So that's not too bad. We'll see. We'll test it, see what kind of connection we got. So this kit also came with a little testing thingamajig. So I'll go set that up in the basement and bring it out here, and it'll check, make sure it's all good. So here we are in the basement. This is the little tester. Doing this one-handed, but this comes off. So I'll bring that with me. This right here, I'll plug this into. I'll tell you, this cable is stiff as hell. Alright, so I'll turn it on, and hopefully when I go out and plug it in, this will count down from 1 to 8. Let's go try it out. All right, so back up in the loft. Got my little tester here. So this gets plugged in right here. Okay, so it is working. Let's see. Yep, so it should cycle down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice, so it's working. Sweet. So that's awesome. So RJ45s are installed. So I have the other end of this in the basement plugged into one of the LAN ports, and it says to plug this one into the blue internet one. So plug that in there. Get some temporary power, extension cord, plug that in. That should be good for it. Oh yeah! Alright, yeah. Awesome. That's it. We got internet. That wasn't that bad. I did have to reset my router in the basement because I don't remember my login details, so I had to reset that. Made it easier because I could just basically start fresh and tell my existing router that it was the main mesh router and that this router was a mesh node. And I made sure that I put in the exact same Wi-Fi username as I had previously and the same password. That way I didn't have to reconnect everything that was connected. So I shouldn't have to mess with any of my existing cameras or anything like that. Let's check it. Cameras. Good, I didn't check it. No, I just did. Perfect, that one works. Perfect, that one works too. Yep, so they're all working. So that's awesome, because I made that mistake before too. I changed the router setting or the password or whatever, and next thing you know, every device, TVs, phones, cameras, thermostat, everything, you had to go through and redo it all. So I'm not changing that, I'm not changing my password. So awesome. So we got internet out here. I'm actually gonna sit this on the ground so I could actually lay it right on the floor. Networking out to the shed, 85% done. All I gotta do is mount that thing. Here's the Wi-Fi mounted up in the dormer ceiling here. Ran a circuit to it. So that thing is all set. I even covered up these extra ports with some aluminum tape so they don't get filled up with trash. Here we go!